From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network at Troy, Alabama's International University, this is Troy TrojanVision News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision News for February 17, 2017. I'm Chelsea Law.
And I'm Nathaniel Rodriguez. Thank you for joining us this evening. Domestic violence is something that affects people in all walks of life, and domestic violence in the lives of college students may sometimes be overlooked. Last night, a Troy alumna visited campus to share the story of her domestic violence experiences as a way to help raise awareness. Adoria Hughes has the story.
And be who you were created to be.
Thursday night, Troy University's chapter of NAACP welcomed guest speaker Bridget Blakely to share her story on domestic violence. Blakely is author of the book Shattered But Not Broken and CEO of Me Too Corporation. She hopes that students learn from her to never let anyone take their dreams away.
Never allow anyone to take your dream away. Never allow anyone to tell you that you're nothing, because everyone has a purpose and destiny in life.
NAACP President Miles Webster says he hopes students were able to relate the message to their own life.
A significant part about tonight's event was definitely just the realness of it. I know everyone's definitely not going to always be able to relate to a situation such as domestic violence, domestic abuse, but it is the fact that all of us do go through something. I think her testimony was essential, very impactful, because it let us all know that we don't have to be defined or limited by those things that attempt to be roadblocks or bumps on our road.
If students would like to find out more information about NAACP and upcoming events, visit troy.edu/student involvement. Adoria Hughes, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Up next, the NAACP is helping sponsor a Unity Black History Month cookout tonight at 7 in the Arboretum.
During football season, Troy University has the big homecoming game, but during basketball season, there's a slight variation called hoopcoming. The first part of the big event was last night. Janae Jordan gives us a look.
On Thursday, the women's basketball team took on Appalachian State, but during halftime, the Trojans took on a donut eating contest during hoopcoming.
Hoopcoming is a time where the organizations around campus get together and they basically nominate a candidate to represent them. And it's just a fun time to raise money for local philanthropies and healthy competition, basically.
Although it might be called hoopcoming, it has little to do with basketball. The idea of hoopcoming is to raise money for charity.
It originally first started, like the TC tables that we have started February 6th, and we've been raising money since then for the different local philanthropies that people have picked.
Each year, Freshman Forum hosts hoopcoming, and this year, there will be two parts to the event.
This year, since the basketball conference games kind of got switched, the girls play on one day and the guys play on another, so we had to split it up. So that's a lot more fun, a lot more time that people can come out and support our basketball team. So tonight is the women's game, and then on Monday the 20th is the main event where there'll be more students, more people coming out, and that's the final time where we will announce who won all the different competitions.
The hoopcoming winner will be announced during halftime during the men's basketball game when they take on Appalachian State on Monday. Reporting from Trojan Arena, Janae Jordan, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Hoopcoming Part 2 will be during Monday night's men's basketball matchup against App State. We will have the results of last night's game coming up later in the show during sports. Tea is a drink that spans many cultures. Some like it sweetened and iced, others like it bitter and hot.
Well, yesterday, Troy students learned about the country that is considered the birthplace of tea, China. Troy students got to learn about China's tea culture Thursday night during a Tea for Troy presentation held in the Baptist Campus Ministry building. The presentation explained China's role as the birthplace of the tea plant, the varieties of Chinese tea, and the Chinese tea ceremony. Students got to try a type of oolong tea, which presenter Xiang Wang said is the most popular and varied of Chinese tea.
I think oolong tea have many different kinds. Some may be very difficult to get, and some is easy. Just you enjoy it here. It's a very popular kind of oolong tea.
One American Troy student says she thought the presentation was informative.
I really really enjoyed it. I didn't know that China was actually the birthplace of tea, and I found that really interesting. And it was cool to see how they do their tea ceremonies as well. I loved the presenter's costume. I thought that was really cool that he wore his traditional dress, and it was very flowy and nice, and that caught the eye. So.
Tea for Troy President Mac Morris said he hoped non-Chinese students were able to leave with a better understanding of a group that makes up the majority of the international student community.
Well, what the hope they got from it is being more internationally aware. Socializing with people from different backgrounds, different cultures than you.
Tea for Troy will meet again on March 2nd. And speaking of cultural interaction, the International Student Cultural Organization will hold a melting potluck on Sunday at 5 in the Trojan Center ballrooms.
Now, the latest in Trojan sports on Troy TrojanVision News.
Welcome back to Troy TrojanVision Sports. The women's basketball team is resting up after an emotional 86-77 victory over the Mountaineers of Appalachian State. Jamal Kennedy gives a recap of the game.
The women's basketball team improved to 10-3 in conference play and improved to 8-2 at home following a much-anticipated matchup against Appalachian State Thursday night.
Well, we've been looking forward to this game for quite some time now because this team plays so similar to us. But we knew kind of like the team that could make the most shots, that were hitting shots, had a good chance of winning this game.
The Trojans pulled out the 86-77 victory, and it was one that both Coach Rigby and senior forward Caitlin Ramirez both knew the team needed.
Our hearts were so broken from that last loss that, I was a little bit concerned about that, getting back up. But, our team, they believe they're winners. They believe that losing is something we did, not who we are.
It's definitely something that we needed because, we got to get back on our streak. We're not being very consistent with our winning streak as of right now. So that's something that we got to pick up and get back on, get higher numbers on the winning side. And that's something that we got to do one at a time.
The Trojans fell behind early on, trailing by 2 points at the end of the first quarter, but turned up their defensive focus as the game went on.
The main thing I'm proud of in this game is a half-court defense at times. That's a great improvement for us because as coaches, we sit there and scratch our head and say, can we really get a stop in the half-court? We've really been working on it, and it really looked a lot better at times tonight.
Senior guard Jayla Chills recorded a career-high 27 points from the starting lineup, but it was another senior off the bench that provided the big shots that Troy needed.
Well, they were clutch points because it seemed like they were at pivotal moments that it could have gone either way. Maybe the other team was about to take the lead, and then she would come down and hit a quick three. They were pivotal and clutch shots, just like at the end. Jayla Chills hit very clutch shots at the end.
The Trojans continued to be a high turnover team, turning the ball over 23 times, something the ball club will look into correcting before Saturday's game.
We will try to get that point across. We'll watch all of our turnovers on film. We'll talk about it. Get them to regroup and just make it a priority to take care of the ball on Saturday.
Jamal Kennedy, Troy TrojanVision Sports.
Up next for the Trojans are the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina tomorrow at 2 p.m. in Trojan Arena. The women aren't the only ones facing the Chanticleers. The men will finally be back in home territory to face off against Coastal Carolina. Troy is now 14-12 with a conference record at an even 6 wins and losses. Coastal Carolina is sitting at an overall record of 13-13 with an 8-5 conference record. But wait, shortly following that game, Troy will face against the Mountaineers of Appalachian State, who are 8-16 overall and 3-10 in the conference, and they're hungry for a victory. Coach Phil Cunningham talks about the upcoming battles.
Coastal Carolina and App State are both on 3-game win streaks. Coastal Carolina was one of those teams we're trying to catch. They've won 3 in a row. They've held serve, and App State's trying to get back in this thing. They've won, maybe I said 3 in a row, 2 in a row at least. They're at home, and they're both really different in their styles of play, but they're both very capable teams, and we'll have our hands full. But I think our guys will be really excited heading in this weekend, coming off the 2 big road wins.
The Trojans will play both games at home in Trojan Arena. The game against the Chanticleers tips off tomorrow at 4:15 p.m., while the game against the Mountaineers tips off Monday night at 7 p.m. Golf season is now coming into full swing as the Trojans are currently in Florida, getting ready to tee off at the Gator Invitational. The Trojans enter the spring season ranked 74th and are led by 4 seniors with stroke averages under 74. Seniors Clayton Van Noy and Jared Betcher enter this season with averages of 72.08 and 72.83 respectively, leading the 4. Head coach Matt Terry talks about the upcoming Invitational.
This will be our first time playing there in years, and we normally start our season in Houston, but we made a little bit of a switch, and we're looking at a stronger field down there. I know Arkansas followed us. You know, they won Houston's event last year. They're coming to the Gator this year. So, you know, it doesn't it gets more difficult, not easier.